Shalom here from Jerusalem. What dramatic days we are living in. The crisis in Ukraine is indeed a crisis that is changing the entire world right now. And what is even more dramatic, it is changing the life of hundreds of thousands of individuals, if not millions of individuals. People say it is the largest refugee crisis since World War II, and Israel finds itself right in the center of that crisis. Just a few days ago, the Israeli government decided to accept non-Jewish refugees to welcome them here in the land of Israel. And on top of that, even more Jewish refugees are expected. People who will make Aliyah, who will be absorbed as Israeli citizens here in the land of Israel. And Israel has become, because of that, the number one countries of all the nations that do not border to Ukraine, the number one countries that receive the most refugees in their homeland. Refugees who arrive to make Aliyah here in Israel, it's a complete different Aliyah, complete different return to their homeland than everything that we have seen in past decades. Those people who immigrate to Israel right now, they didn't have the luxury to think for weeks and months, talk to the Jewish agency, to the Israeli embassy with their families, how to best make Aliyah. This literally was forced upon them overnight, and they had to flee sometimes with only the clothes that they are wearing on their bodies. It's a dramatic scene that is unfolding right now in Ukraine, and just a few days ago, the first flight of new immigrants arrived here at Ben Gurion Airport in Israel. On board of that flight were 100 orphans, children that don't have any parents. And the ICEJ, I'm very glad to tell you, is right now working full speed to help those children that are in special need. And also other flights are arriving today on a daily basis, several flights a day. And I'm very glad to tell you that also here, the ICEJ, we could help hundreds of new immigrants to make Aliyah in the past few days. Also, we are working on the ground in Kiev, in Ukraine, and in other cities to help, in particular, Holocaust survivors. Those people who are advanced in age, we want to do our utmost to make it as fast as possible and also as convenient as possible for them to return back to Israel, the land of their forefathers. Some of them might end up in our home for Holocaust survivors in Haifa. Others will be absorbed in families or with friends or in other institutions. And right now, as I'm talking to you, trucks are leaving the country of Finland, Helsinki, in order to bring much needed aid to countries like Poland, where many refugees are waiting for their basic supplies. As a matter of fact, many of our European branches are working right now full speed to help, in particular also the Jewish communities that are fleeing the country of Ukraine right now. Do you see that we are working on all fronts in order to alleviate the pressure that has come upon many people, including the Jewish people in that region? And you can become today a part of it. Your help and your support is so much needed, maybe more than ever before.
Partner with us to rescue Ukrainian Jews now. Go to give.icej.org/Ukrainian Aliyah.
The prophet Isaiah says in chapter 21, verses 14 and 15, "To the thirsty bring water, meet the fugitive with bread, for they have fled from the swords and from the drawn sword, from the bent bow and from the press of the battle." This is exactly what the International Christian Embassy is doing right now. We are meeting those refugees, the Jewish refugees, on the way as they are fleeing the Ukraine. And I want to invite you again personally to stand with us in this time of crisis, to show our support with the nation of Israel, with the Jewish people in Ukraine, but also all those refugees that already arrived here in the land of Israel. And I am sure as you do so, God will bless you as you bless His people. He will bless you in return. Shalom from Jerusalem, and I look forward to hear from you.